Scared of layoffs? Your personal brand might be the only thing that'll keep you employed. Today, let's see what this Forbes article says about the three essential skills to survive layoffs, and I'll break down how to brand yourself in 3 steps. Remember the great resignation of 2021? Well, it's 2025. Welcome to the great stay. I'm sure most of you know about the great resignation that happened around the pandemic era when a lot of companies, especially tech companies, allowed folks to stay home and they said, well, you can just work from home. And there was a lot of talent, competitive hiring going on, and it was very difficult for tech companies to retain people. Well, now the opposite has happened. People are desperately trying to hang on to their jobs with the market changes that have happened since then. Now, I'm not one for all of these buzzwords in the media, but I think it is true. The market has definitely changed, and the job market isn't pretty for a lot of people. Let's take a look. The article says as February 2025 saw the highest number of layoffs since the pandemic, and it's been brutal this year. A major contributing factor has been federal layoffs. There's a lot of emphasis these days on government downsizing. But I think in addition to federal layoffs, if you've seen my other videos, there's a lot of issues going on in other industries as well, such as tech. And I think the fact that you have this combination of government downsizing and downsizing in other industries as well, compounded by the impact of AI, is causing a lot of issues in the workplace today. It seems that out of a poll of more than 1,000 people, 4 in 5 US workers fear they'll lose their jobs in 2025. Let's take a look at this summary, which is a report from a survey by this company called My Perfect Resume. 81% of workers fear job loss in 2025. Wow. Fear is at an all time high. 76% anticipate an increase in layoffs. Well, I'm not surprised. You hear this every day in the news. People expect businesses to close. There's even a very, very high fear of a recession in 2025 with all of the tariffs and changes and economies around the world. And people are very worried about burnout and they know they have to upskill. And I think this last point is very important. You should always be thinking about your skill set and how to upskill. And I'll specifically talk about some of that, especially in terms of branding. Okay, well, the article tries to be a bit positive. It says you don't need to live in fear. You can control how recession proof and in demand you are. And you can control how much your career and income continue to grow and to what extent you are in demand, even as companies are in process of restructuring teams and realigning their priorities. Well, I think this is partially true. This is kind of a bit of too much of a feel-good attitude here. I think there's definitely things that you can do and that you should do, but to say or imply that you're in total control, I think is taking it a bit too far. But regardless, you got to do what you are able to do. Okay, so the article talks about 3 skills that'll help your career survive layoffs in 2025. And it's good that they actually say that it doesn't mean you'll be immune to your role being eliminated, but it will make you resilient and not feel the blow as hard. And I totally agree. These are things that you need to implement and think about as soon as possible, given the current job environment. Now, something a lot of employees don't think about is their personal brand. And I totally agree, this is very important. Why? It's important because it stands behind your name. It builds trust and enables people to see your value and take a risk on you, even if they've never viewed your resume or worked with you before. Your personal brand must be compelling enough and data driven enough for decision makers to want to hire and collaborate with you. And I agree, it's not about aesthetics necessarily, although that can come into play. It's all about having a strong, visible, active presence online, building thought leadership, and showcasing tangible results that loudly say, I deliver XYZ. Now, one big takeaway that this article recommends is to rewrite your LinkedIn headline to reflect who you are, who you help, and the results you've already delivered. But don't just rewrite your LinkedIn headline without understanding how to build your personal brand. I'll show you how to do this next. Most people miss out on personal branding's power. It's how you control what others think of you. The secret? Consistency. Take Coca-Cola. They hammer happiness in a bottle into our minds with every ad, making us link Coke to joy. You can do this for your career. Here are the 3 steps. Step 1. See yourself as a product. Employers need reliable talent to dodge risks. They're scared of unproven hires. That's your market's pain point. What value do you bring? Are you a project manager who guarantees on time delivery or a marketer boosting sales by 15%? Write down your top skills and back them with proof, like specific results, to show you're the solution, not just fluff. Step 2, craft a positioning statement to guide your brand. This doesn't need to be public. Think of it like your North Star to help you navigate. Use this for target market. I am the role who solves pain point with value proposition. Example, for startups looking for rapid growth, I'm the marketer who boosts revenue by at least 15% through tailored campaigns. Step 3, reinforce your positioning daily. Take projects that prove your value, like that marketer chasing sales wins. After each win, share a quick summary with stakeholders, aligning it to your statement. Update your LinkedIn headline to match. Example, growth marketer helped 3 startups boost revenue 15% through custom campaigns. Engage on social media with your field's pros to amplify it. Consistency, like Coca-Cola's ads, builds trust with decision makers. This is a quick overview, but if you want more detail on this, let me know in the comments below. Okay, it says no scrolling your LinkedIn newsfeed and commenting I agree or I'm interested. Makes sense. These are low value comments. Now, commenting is actually better than simply liking. So if you are going to do something, comment, but try to put some thoughtful effort into the comments you make that add value to the discussion. Networking is a skill that requires strategy and intention. You need to figure out who can add value to your career and connect with these people. Find the decision makers and people who know and work closely with them. Add these professionals to your LinkedIn network and engage with them on their posts by actually contributing something that is thoughtful and adds value. Okay, I agree with this. 70% of jobs are never posted online. I think this is roughly true. It's called a hidden job market because most jobs never meet the public eye. They fill through referrals and strategic networking. But if you build a skill now, in the event that round of layoffs does hit you, you'll bounce back faster because you can tap into your network. And this is good advice. Okay, because you want to build your network before you actually need it. What's the action step that they recommend? Identify a short list of 10 people of influence who are in your industry and connect with them on LinkedIn. Then engage thoughtfully on at least one post each day. I totally agree with this. I think in this environment, I'd say you should be spending some time every day on LinkedIn. And as a tip, I'd recommend actually blocking time on your calendar to do this, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Just block time on your calendar every day so you have some dedicated time where you can actually go on LinkedIn, try to connect with people in a thoughtful way, and maintain and even expand your professional network. Now, if you have opportunities, and I suggest you heavily look for opportunities to meet in person, that can be even more valuable. So if you can go to meetups, if you can go to industry conferences, try to connect with people there. Go to the booths of the companies that are present and try to connect in person with people in your career, in your field at live events. Now, the third thing the article talks about is income diversification. You don't need to quit your job to create multiple income streams, but what you do need to do is think outside the box of your current position and consider ways that you can turn one specific skill or domain expertise into several income streams, such as freelance consulting, teaching, digital products, and other specialized services. Now, I agree with this. And one of the reasons I agree with this is because there are some predictions at the rate of AI increasing. You can expect that most jobs, most office jobs in particular, most knowledge jobs are going to be gone within a few years. Some predict by 2030. If you are interested, you can watch my other videos. I'll post a link on those about how AI is going to impact work. It's true that the era of knowledge work, the golden era of knowledge workers, may be coming to an end, which basically means that AI will be able to do knowledge work jobs much better than most humans. And so, what happens in that environment? I think everybody today should be thinking about how to position themselves for such an era. And one of the things you can do today is actually do things like freelance consulting. So, you can build up some of these skills. The easiest way I'd suggest people do this is by joining expert network firms. So, for example, if you're a marketer or a software engineer who uses cloud products, for example, you can sign up with these firms. And I'll put a link to some of these firms that you can join in the description below. It's very easy to sign up. And they basically act as a middleman for setting up consulting calls if you have expertise in one area with people who need that kind of expertise. So it's a really great way to build up some skills in third party consulting where you can earn extra income, literally hundreds of dollars an hour, while still be employed at your current job. Now, you have to be careful because you don't want to provide any confidential information and things like that. But I suggest looking at that as one way to diversify income streams. Yeah, I just suggest people learn AI in general as well. And I talked about that in some of my other videos. And the article actually suggests to make a list of 3 things that you're super skilled or knowledgeable in, and then research ways to monetize them online. And I know this can be hard for people with regular job, especially today where we're asked to do a lot more. But you have to do your best to just find the time and make the time because, like I said, the environment is not really getting any better. Now, of all these things talked about here, I'd say the branding thing for most people is the way to go. Make sure you spend some time on that because if you brand yourself well and if you understand your market, then even if you get laid off at your current job, you'll be ready. You'll be set up to go for the next one. Okay, so brand yourself, collect those proof points, make sure your positioning is really sharp, and then, of course, constantly be expanding your network as well. And then, lastly, really, really try to make time to diversify your income stream. Like I said, I think the expert networks consulting is the best path forward on that for most people because it's really low effort. All you have to do is basically submit your information. The expert network firm basically matches you up with clients looking for information. All you have to do is take a call, answer some questions about things you already know, and you're set. Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. And I know it's tough out there for many people. So, as always, folks, stay savvy, my friends.